Hello everyone, welcome to Code Vipassana Season 10, Session 2, where we'll build a multi-agent app with the Agent Development Kit, Agent Engine, and AlloyDB. If you attended last time's session or viewed the recording, you would know that we built a single agent application using ADK last time, and this time we're going a step further and building a multi-agent app with ADK. Again, just a brief overview on what is ADK. ADK is a flexible and modular framework that is developed for developing and deploying agents. You can create a single agent system or a multi-agent system with ADK. Form hierarchies, make the agents collaborate together, coordinate with each other to achieve a larger goal, all the works. Just to know a few things before you create an agent, you need to know exactly what kind of an agent do you want to build. How many specializations the agent should have. Those specializations will most likely become sub-agents for you. After that, how do you bring them together and form a root agent that can orchestrate the entire response? And finally, there are multiple types of routings present, so we will figure it all out together on how do we build this multi-agent system. So what will we build today? We will build a multi-agent system to handle kitchen renovations. We'll build 3 agents: a renovation proposal agent, a permits and compliance check agent, and an order status agent. What the renovation proposal agent basically does is it will generate the kitchen renovation proposal document. Then the permits and compliance agent will take care of the permits and compliance related tasks, and the order status check will help us by working on the order management database that we will set up in AlloyDB. Okay, now let's go and set up our environment. Okay, so before you begin, there are a few prerequisites that you need to make sure are complete. Firstly, we need a Google Cloud project. I'll show you how that's done and I'll execute all of these steps with you, so just follow along. Firstly, go to the Google Cloud console. You can just right click and open this link. The Google Cloud console looks something like this. So this is where you'll be able to see a lot of your projects, right? If you want, you can work in a new project. If you want, you can work in any existing project. Let's say I want to create a new project and I'll show you how to do it. So what we can do is we can create a new Google Cloud project and make sure billing is enabled. To make sure that billing is enabled, you can use this link to redeem your credits, or you can also use the link that was sent to you in your email. Make sure you're registered to codevipassana.dev for that, and you will get the emails with the links. So firstly, let's go ahead and make a project. Actually, first let's just redeem the link. So use the same Gmail account that you're using to create your project. Sign in. Because I have already redeemed this, it shows like this, but don't worry, you will obviously get the link. After this, what you can do is you can just create a new project. Let's say I want to create it for today's demo. So Season 10 Lab 2. I will select that as my project name. I will click on create. It will create the project. I can click on select the project, and then it will change the project name to Season 10 Lab 2. Make sure you remember your project ID. For me, it is Season 10 S10-L2, but for you, it can be anything, and whatever it is, make sure you remember that ID. Okay, let's see what the next step is. Make sure that we have billing enabled. How do you make sure that you have billing enabled? Just click on billing. And make sure, don't worry about $0 here. That means that you have not used any amount. But just when you click on credits, make sure you have $5 as credits. This is the credits that you will be able to redeem once you click on the link sent to you in your email by Code Vipassana. And then you will have $5 to perform this Codelab. Okay. Now we'll need to set up our terminal, set up our environment. So let's go ahead and do that. How we can do that is we can go back to the Google Cloud homepage, select Activate Cloud Shell, select it. Let's just open it in a new window, authorize it. That's fine. It will ask you to authorize. Open this in a new window, and let's just close this. We'll require this page later. So open the Cloud Shell in a new terminal. Great, we have our Cloud Shell set up. Now what do we need to do is we need to make sure that the Cloud Shell is set up properly and it is connected to our project. So for that, what we do first, we'll check if our Cloud Shell is connected to our Google account. Yes, it says it's connected to our Google account. After that, we can list all the projects that we have in this Google account, and then you can choose. So currently it says project is unset. That is because we haven't set our project. So you can copy this command and then just replace this with your project ID, and you will be able to set your project. You can see here in yellow, my project has been set. That means we are good to go. This was all for step 2, and we can move ahead. So now what we can do is we can just go to Gemini AI Studio and just Google AI Studio and just prototype for our project, because we want to see the kind of output that we'll get. So let's just go to Google AI Studio. And let's select Gemini 2.5 Pro. Let's copy this prompt, paste it here, and see what it is able to generate. A very cool thing about Google AI Studio is that it actually shows you your thinking, and you can actually view what it is thinking about, how it is going about your prompt, about your framework, and then once it gives the response, we can see if it's what we were looking for. By the way, Gemini 2.5 Pro has a 65,000 output token, so we will never run out of tokens for designing something like a renovation project, since it might be lengthy, but it will always support long context requests and also long context outputs. So, yep, I think we have our output. It says that you can use a prompt like this, and it gives us the prompt that we can use to generate our proposal document through Gemini. Pretty crazy. Then what we can do is we can actually test another thing. We can go and ask it to generate some kind of image. So what we can do, I'll just go through a new chat, select an image generation model. So let's say Flash Preview image generation, and also attach an image of a kitchen. So let's say I download this image. It is linked in the Codelab. I'll just download it, go to Gemini Studio, upload this image. Once it's uploaded, just hit on run, and let's see if it's able to make the changes. When we did it while making this Codelab, we got this output. This was the initial image, and it added lights above. Wow, it's added lights here too. You see these lights? It's just added them. They weren't present before. That's very cool. So what we can do is we are very sure now that Gemini will be able to complete our requests, will be able to help us out. So what we can do is next we can go ahead and set up ADK, which is the Agent Development Kit. So for this, we will need to set up a virtual environment and work inside of it, since we want to manage dependencies. If you're a Python, Java, any developer, you'll know what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead, copy this command. Just create a virtual environment. Once it's done, you can go ahead and activate it. And you will see .when we are in your terminal. Then let's go ahead and install Google ADK. Give it 10 or 15 seconds. It will just install Google ADK for you. You will be able to see requirement satisfied, Google ADK installed. You can type clear if you want to clear out everything, and we can move ahead. Now, we need to set up our project. For this project, we need to make a directory and files inside of it. How we can do this is we can just create a new directory, let's say renovation-agent. So I will go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's paste that command, mkdir renovation agent. What this will do is it will just create a folder called renovation-agent. Let's press ls and we'll be able to see that we have a renovation-agent folder. If you've done the last lab and you already have a folder called renovation-agent, don't worry, you can just go inside the current folder and just replace the code when we go ahead. So do not worry about that. So the kind of directory layout that we want is we need an init file, an agent file, and a .env file. Instead of creating here, let's go to a more interactive interface and do this. So what we can do is we can again click on activate Cloud Shell, open the editor and open it in a new window. So again, let's close it from here and let it open here. You can close up this terminal and this is the Cloud Shell editor. We can open the folder that we just created in our terminal previously, renovation-agent. Click on OK, and what it will do is it will initialize the empty folder inside our editor, and we'll be able to edit whatever we want. So let's go ahead and create those files. We need an init.py, an agent.py, and a .env file. Okay, so this is how you can create these files. And now if you go inside these files, you will be able, if you go inside the folder renovation-agent, what you will be able to see, if you just press ls, you will see that we have the agent and the init file. Since .env is a hidden file, you won't see it here, but if you want to see it, you can just always do ls-a and it shows you the hidden file too. Great. Now, the next step that we have is getting the source code. So we need to go to the init file and just copy this code and paste it there. Let's go ahead and do that. That's all we need to do for the init file. For the agent.py file, let's go to this link and copy this agent.py code from here. Okay, we have all our agent.py code from here. Now let's go to the next step. In the agent.py, we import the necessary dependencies, retrieve the configuration parameters, etc. etc. For the agent.py to work, we need to make sure that we have a cloud storage bucket. So remember I told you to leave this page open. What we'll do is we'll just go ahead and create a cloud storage bucket. So you can also go to this link and go here, click on go to buckets. It will lead you to a page like this. I already have a bucket created in a different project, but let's just create it here. So all you need to do is you need to name a bucket. So let's say I name it demo-season 10 lab 2. Okay, I can just click on continue. You can leave this on default, click on continue and just click on create. You just uncheck this, enforce public access prevention, and you're good to go. So this bucket is created. This is the name of the bucket, demo-season 10 lab 2. You can just name the bucket anything that you want. Try naming it the same as it is in the Codelab. If you name it something else, let's just update it in the env file. So now we can just create the dependency requirements. Let's go ahead, open this hyperlink. These are the requirements that we need for this file. So what we'll do is we'll just create a requirements.txt file inside here. Let's go ahead, requirements.txt, and paste all the requirements here. Great. That's all we need to do in this step. Now, we need to also set up our database. To set up the database, we'll use a tool called AlloyDB. AlloyDB is one of the tools that Google Cloud offers, which is built on PostgreSQL, and it will allow you to use their database. So in this section, we'll set it up. How we can do this is, remember the page you left open, the main page. Just go ahead in the main bar, type AlloyDB. Click on the first one. Okay, the next thing you need to do is click on create cluster. It will enable the AlloyDB API, ask you to enable it, give it a minute or two, it will enable itself, and then you'll be able to move ahead. Until then, let's just discuss the steps that we need to do. So once the APIs are enabled, it will show us a page like this. Configure your cluster, set up network, etc. etc. So what we need to do is we need to put the cluster ID as this, the password as this, and we need to configure all of these settings. So let's go ahead and do that. It's still in progress. Okay, the API was enabled and now I see this screen. So let's configure our AlloyDB cluster. Let's put the cluster ID as vector-cluster. I'd recommend that you just copy paste the values to make sure that there are no errors. Password is AlloyDB. Postgres version, even though the Codelab says 15 compatible, you can always choose the latest one. Make sure the region is set to US Central 1. Okay, now let's configure the networking to be default. Don't worry if your page looks just a bit different than the ones shown in the screenshot here. All you need to do is scroll down a little bit, come here to private services access, click on network, select default. It will show you that you need to set up the connection. Click on setup connection, select use an automatically allocated IP range, click on continue and click on connect creation. It'll take a minute or two, don't worry, then it will create a connection. After that, we can set up the other things. Once the connection is created, it will show you private services for network default has been successfully created. The next thing that we need to do is we need to change the instance ID. So if you go back to the Codelab, it tells you that the instance ID needs to be set to vector-instance. Let's go ahead and do that. Leave this on multiple zones. That's done. That's done. Let's see if we need to do anything else. Nope, that looks great. So we can just create the cluster. Give it some time to create the cluster. It'll create the cluster, show you that the cluster was created, and lead you to the AlloyDB studio. Great, the cluster has been created. Once you see this ready, just wait a bit, just scroll down. You will see vector-instance as the instance that we just made, and the status is still creating. If you want, you can see it here also. So it says creating instance vector-cluster. So give it some time to create that instance. It will take 5 to 7 minutes to create that instance, and then we can proceed. Once the instance has been created, it will show you vector-instance, the status is ready. So what you can do is you can go to the AlloyDB studio. It will tell you to select the database Postgres, user Postgres, and the password that we had put was AlloyDB. Let's put the password as AlloyDB, click on authenticate. Great, we have everything set up. Now let's go ahead and see what we need to do next. What we need to do next is we need to actually ingest data into the AlloyDB database. So we've already logged in, we have the editor open. What we can do is we can go ahead and create a table. So let's just copy this, go ahead, paste it in the editor. Once you click on run, what it will do is it will create a table called material order status with all of these keys, right? And you can just click on run, statement executed successfully, and if you can see there's a table called material order status with 25 columns in it. The next thing that you need to do is you need to insert records. What we can do is you can go to this script, which is hyperlinked. This script is essentially nothing but a sample of 25 insert records for our database. So we can just copy this, paste it here, don't worry, you can replace it, click on run, and statement executed successfully. So we have all the data for our database ready inside. Now what we need to do is we need to create a Java Cloud Run function to extract the status. For this, what we can do is we can go to this link. It will show you a page like this. You can select this option that says use an inline editor to create a function. what you can do is you can select the name of the function to check underscore status. Let's go ahead and do that. Check underscore status. If it needs you to enable any APIs, just enable them. It tells me the service name may only start with a letter and only contain numbers or hyphens. So let's change the check underscore status to check hyphen status. Once that's done, you can select the region. Again, make sure you select it as US Central 1. Once that's done, select the runtime to be Java 17. Once that's done, we can set the authentication to allow unauthenticated invocations, because this is a demo application, but always make sure when you're in production, you set up proper authentication and use it like that. So let's select allow unauthenticated invocations. Let's see if we need to set up anything else. Replacing the placeholder code is something that we will do later. An important step that we need to do right now is we need to serve all our traffic using a VPC connector for outbound traffic. So what we can do is we can expand this column. We can go to networking and we can go to connect to a VPC connector for outbound traffic. We've already selected the network as default. This is what we'd set up before. And we can say use a serverless VPC connector. Because you will not have any right now, you have to click on add a new VPC connector, enable the API required. Until then, let's see what we need to do next. How you can create a connector is like this. So you can name the connector anything that you want, but let's keep it the same as your instance and make sure it is in the same region as the instance. So in our case, we will leave it to US-Central 1, leave the network to be default, and also select the IP range within 10.8.0.0 or something similar. So what we can do once we have the API enabled, once that's done, you will see a page like this. Let's say I just name this to be service, the same name that we've given this service, right? We name this service as check hyphen status. So let's go ahead and create the VPC connector with the same name. So check hyphen status, region is US Central 1. And the way we have to use this is we need to use a custom IP range and select 10.8.0.0. Great. In scaling settings, make sure you select this minimum to be 2 and maximum to be 3. And you select the instance type to be F1 micro. My bad, sorry. Once that is done, you can click on create. It will say VPC network is created. Although you will see that it's creating, you can check it here. You can also check it here. So let it get created. Once that's done, we'll move ahead. Okay, so the VPC connector has been created. It took about 5 minutes. Once that's done, you can select this, click on create, and it will create. If you need to enable any APIs, enable the API. I need to enable the Cloud Build API, so I will enable that. And after that, you will be able to create your VPC connector. It's gone to creating, and it's gone for creation. Okay, once this is done, we need to make some changes to the code. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the file. What we need to do is we need to replace the placeholder code. So firstly, what we'll do is we'll need to change the name of the Java file to proposal orders tool.java and the class name to proposal orders tool. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we'll do is we'll rename this file, replace hello HTTP function with proposal orders tool. Go ahead and click on that. It's been renamed, and also change the function entry point to be proposal orders tool. After this, we need to actually edit the code. For that, you can right click, open this link in a new tab. You can open the file proposal orders tool.java, copy all this code, go ahead here, paste it inside. And one very important thing that you need to do is when you see this AlloyDB instance name, you need to replace a bunch of things here. So firstly, you need to replace your project ID. So my project ID is S10-L2. You can replace it to whatever your project ID is. After that, you need to put in your cluster. So my cluster is vector hyphen cluster. Again, your vector cluster ID and your vector instance ID. Mine was just vector hyphen instance. So I am going to do that. Make sure that you had selected US Central 1 in your cluster and you'll be good to go here. What we need to do next is we need to also replace the pom.xml file score. So you can go here, go to the pom.xml file, just copy it, go to the pom.xml, replace it, click on save and redeploy. Once you click on save and redeploy, just let it redeploy. It will show you it is building it and it will just start very soon. Here you see it says active. Wait for 5 to 7 minutes. It will deploy this on Cloud Run and then we'll be able to proceed. Once this is done, you will see all of these are complete and we're ready to move ahead to the next step. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to set up our model. So let's go ahead to Google AI Studio and grab an API key. You can always click on create API key, search for cloud projects, select the cloud project that you created, create a cloud API key in this project, copy this API key and keep it safe. Okay, next what we need to do is we need to set up our environment variables. So what we can do is we can copy all of these, go ahead to our Cloud Shell editor. If it needs you to reload, just reload. Once it's done reloading, you can go to the .env file and edit all the variables that you need to edit. So let's go to the .env file, paste everything here. Let's click on Google API key, paste the API key that we copied earlier. If you lost it, you can always go back, click on the API key, copy, paste it. Cloud location should be Google Cloud Location, leave it on US Central 1. Make sure that there's no space between any of the variables. If there is, just manually remove them. Google Cloud Project, again your project ID. So for me it is S10-L2. So I'm just going to replace that. S10-L2. Again we need to just put our project ID here as well. S10-L2. Make sure that there's no errors here. Then Google Cloud Region, again leave it to be US Central 1. Storage bucket, my storage bucket's name was demo-S10-L2. Whatever was your storage bucket name, you can keep it like that. Check order status endpoint. For me, I will just go here, copy this, go ahead here, and paste it. Once you paste this, your environment variables have been set up correctly and you can move ahead to the next step. Now, we've come finally to the place where we can run our agent. So for this, what do we need to do? We need to go back to our terminal. If the connection was lost, just click on reconnect. As you can see, neither are we inside a .venv right now, nor do we have a Google Cloud project connected. So firstly, let's just connect a Google Cloud project. The command is right here on the top. So let's just copy that, replace it with a project ID in the end. So in yellow, here is a Google Cloud project ID. To enable your virtual environment, just type source, type .venv/bin/activate. Once that's done, your virtual environment will be activated. The next thing that we need to do is we need to go inside the renovation-agent directory and install the requirements. So let's go and do that. So let's go cd renovation-agent and then pip install -r and the requirements file. Once you press enter, it will just go ahead and install all the required dependencies that we have. It might take 1 or 2 minutes. Bear with it, it'll be done very soon. You will see it's installing the collected packages and it'll be done. The next thing that we can do is just run our agent. So for that, the command is ADK run dot. The dot signifying that the agent is in the current directory. So once that's done, successfully installed, great. I'll just clear this, bring it to the top, ADK run dot. And hopefully it should just run right now. Great. It says running agent ADK hyphen renovation hyphen ADK underscore renovation underscore agent. It asks us to give a prompt. We have an example prompt for you to give in the Codelab. Let's go ahead, copy that, paste it, press enter. What will happen right now is the agent will start working. It will start calling its sub agents. It will start doing the work, and very soon you will be able to see a response. A better way to see what the agent is doing is the next thing that we will be doing. We will show you how this looks like in the dev UI that comes pre-installed with ADK. So what it says is it can help you with that, and it will generate it, and it says that it has generated the document and uploaded it to the cloud storage bucket. Let's go back to our cloud storage bucket, refresh it, and wow, it's right there. Let's click on this link. If it shows you any error like access denied, then what you need to do is you need to just go back to the bucket, go all the way back, click on edit access, click on add principal, do all users, select a role, and just select viewer. Storage object viewer is fine. Just go ahead, click on save. Allow public access. And now if you refresh this page, you should be able to see the document. This will make any document inside your cloud bucket accessible to anybody. So make sure you only do this and give this application to somebody who you trust. Great. Another thing we can test this application is we can use the web UI that has been given by ADK to us. So for that, what we can do is we can just go exit. For using the web UI, we will need to go one directory behind. So let's just go cd dot dot. This will go and take us to the root directory. Then we can type ADK web and press enter. Once you press enter, it will tell you that the application is being served here. Uvicon is running on this server. Let's go ahead, copy this and open this in a new tab. Once you open it in a new tab, it will show you, ask you to select an agent. You can select renovation hyphen agent and then paste the same prompt that we pasted before. Now if I paste it here, it will actually show you what is happening on the back end. It gives the system prompt, the agents get to work, they start to generate everything, and they just start generating everything for you. And once it is done, it will show you the same output here, that it generated the output for you, it transferred it to a different agent, it says that it can help you with that, it will generate it, store the PDF, and uploaded it to the cloud storage bucket. If I go ahead, the time this was generated was on 33:51. If I just refresh the bucket, I have a new file that was generated at 36:51, 3 minutes later. And if I go ahead and view this file, I have a document ready. That is a multi-agent system for you. To submit your result, what you can do is you can just press hello, write it in the chat on the ADK web UI.
So
take
if
a
you want to
screenshot
deploy
like this
your
and attach it while
multi-agent
submitting your
system to
result,
the agent
and it
engine
will be
service
validated.
provided by Vertex AI, you can just go to your Cloud Shell, authorize it if needed, go to the agent.py file, uncomment the code in the end, or also find alternative methods in the Codelab for different methods on how you can deploy. There's also a single line command which you can use to just deploy your agent to agent engine. For the scope of this Codelab, since the result has already been published, we will not deploy this right now since it might take 2 to 5 minutes, but you can always go follow the steps here, look for any alternative methods and deploy it. If you want to, you can always go ahead and delete the project you just did this in. So you can go to the manage resources page. I'll just show you how that's done. You can select the project and click on delete. I do not wish to delete it right now, but you can do it if you want. And congratulations, you've completed building your first multi-agent app with the agent development kit. And there's so much more that we have for you in this season. Make sure you attend all the sessions, get your certification, and build amazing applications with the Google Agent Development Kit. Thank you. See you again. If you have any doubts, any queries, reach out to us on Discord. View the past recordings for your reference. We hope to see you again.